Oh yes, we are finding so much determination today. I'm just determined for so much today. Hola muchachos, welcome here. I'm determined to not feel sick anymore. Sickness has recently just become my good friend and I don't want it to be. And I'm determined to just get a bunch of house stuff done as well as film, edit, and upload this video for you guys. Kieran was a sweetheart and decided to take the kids for the day so I could sit down and actually re-film this video because truth be told, I filmed it yesterday. Audio issues were just bugging me like crazy and I wanted to give you guys some good quality content. So I'm sitting back down. I hope the audio is okay. Rode microphone, please don't fail me now. I hope you guys are all doing very well. Happy 2020. I love the new year and I love everything that the new year brings. It is that fresh start, that clean slate that really motivates a lot of us to go out and do things and change things in our lives. But if you are a usual viewer, you know, and I've talked about this on my channel before, that motivation doesn't last. So much of the time we feel motivated to do something and then over time, if not very quickly, it dwindles away. So in this video, I don't want to talk about motivation and motivating you guys to do stuff. I want to talk about disciplining yourself and getting into habits that I would say are quite life-changing, are very beneficial to you, and then also beneficial to everybody around you. So that, again, is what we're talking about. I'm gonna go through a list of 20 things that I encourage you maybe try to implement into your daily life or weekly life or just usual habits. If you feel motivated to do these things, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but in motivation, you also need a good amount of discipline to keep up with these things and continually do them and practice them. A habit is something you do so often you do it without even thinking about it. And I think that is a beautiful quality to have, just really good habits. So thank you for being here and thank you for joining me for today's video. Question of the video, what are you drinking right now or what is the last thing you drank? Let me know in a comment down below. Kieran has made me some coffee that a friend gifted us. Thank you, Delilah, very much. I love this blend and it has a little bit of vanilla almond milk creamer in here. I love you guys so much. Let's go ahead and get started. I want to try to go through these things quite quickly just because there's a lot of them, and just a disclaimer, I'm not saying you need to do all these things in order to be a great and awesome person. Even just kind of implementing one of these things and working on it consistently is beautiful and awesome, and I would say a job well done. And don't feel intimidated by this list. It's gonna really work for some people, and for other people it may not be so much their thing. That's totally fine. Number one is to be purposeful and more specifically intentional every single day. I loved looking at people's 2019 New Year's resolutions, obviously from last year for the year 2019, because literally everybody, they all talked about being intentional. Instead of just kind of riding the wave of life and letting things come to you and just kind of sitting back and letting it all happen, people actually stepping out and going out of their comfort zones and being intentional with their time, being intentional with their money, and being intentional with relationships. I highly encourage you, and there's so many different ways in someone's life that they can be intentional. Find a way that really benefits you and obviously benefits other people and do it, and be intentional with what you have and have a more intentional mindset. Number two, whether it's a little or a lot, move your body. So many people honestly are not able to, a lot of people aren't able to walk or just move at all in general, and we take our body's movements for granted and we're always just going about our day and living our lives. And you know what? I think moving your body is extremely beneficial for your health, extremely beneficial for just your mental state. And this is not me talking about like the physical look of your body, like to work out in order to make yourself look a certain way, but just to take care of yourself and to love on yourself. This is a huge area of self-care, and we'll talk about that later, that you can implement into your life just by moving. That can be a walk, a run, that can just be stretching. Warming your muscles up and moving is hugely beneficial. Number three is to drink good stuff. A lot of people obviously drink water, yes, but I want to encourage you all the more so to not drink things like sodas and high sugary drinks, lots of alcohols, things that just don't benefit your body. Not to say to wipe your slate clean of all those type of drinks, because I think everything in moderation is okay, but to not overboard things. Too much of something that you really enjoy will not be good. Things like water, nut milks, cold pressed juices, so beneficial for you, so good for you, a great habit to get into. Number 4, go to sleep early and wake up early. This is something that I was really intense about in 2019. I've done this for a few years now, but all the more so in 2019, I really made this a huge part of my life. Slipping into bed at 8:30 and just reading, going to sleep early, and then waking up at 5 a.m. I felt much more accomplished and productive in my day. I actually did have more energy, believe it or not, through my day. I had a great night's sleep. And I also think as a mom, it is so nice to wake up really early before your kids wake up. I have 3 kids, if you don't know. Waking up before them, getting things done, preparing myself, preparing the house, and putting things in order before the kids wake up. That is how all my days have been very accomplished and productive and honestly beautiful, just by me going to sleep early, waking up early, getting things done. This is one of the best habits that I can recommend for someone. Number 5 is to stop reaching for your phone just to cure boredom or to cure like that antsiness that you have. A lot of people, it's like they're bored and what do? They pick up their phone and they start scrolling and doing things almost like mindlessly. It's something that we can naturally gravitate towards. It's an awkward situation. We're gonna look on our phone. We're bored. We're gonna look on our phone. There's nothing to watch. We look on our phone, or we're watching something and it's not stimulating enough and we go onto our phone. Kind of going back to our first point, be intentional. If you're picking up your phone, think why you are picking up your phone. Am I doing this to check an email, to do a text message, to post something? Or am I just bored and I want to pick up my phone and veg out and relax and try to find something to further stimulate me through my day? Number 6, and I would say this is one of the best things that you can do in the year of 2020 and throughout the rest of your life, is to work to be debt free. The amount of people that have loan debt, like student loans or like credit card debt, is really sad and weighs as a burden on a lot of people. I think financial freedom is great. I've never had loans or credit card debts or anything, which I'm very thankful for, but we do obviously have a mortgage for our house, and that is something that through 2020 we want to put a lot of money aside and just continually put money onto the house, into the house, because this is just like a huge savings ground for us. I just encourage you, pay off your debts, pay off your loans, put money aside. Don't just let it sit there and be a burden, but find financial freedom. I will link Dave Ramsey, his YouTube channel, down below. Super smart money guy, very helpful, and I think you could learn a lot from him. I always do. Number 7, food is fuel. Do not find guilt here. Too many of us find guilt in our food, and whether it's really good food or maybe not so good food, food is just associated with guilt way too much of the time. Again, don't annihilate cookies and certain drinks from your diet, but just everything in moderation, and eating things that may be high in sugar or people say is bad for you or is actually bad for you, and having just a bit and enjoying it, but then also realizing what your body needs, because food is fuel for our bodies. Our bodies need specific things to work properly and well. It's giving your body the things that it needs, and then also in some portions giving yourself just what you would like, and not finding guilt over it and not dwelling over it and not chugging 4 liters of water to make yourself feel better about that one cookie that you had. Number 8 is to be a better listener. So like seriously, all my life I'm more of a listener than a talker. For the most part, I'd much rather listen to a conversation than actually be a part of it. That's maybe a little bit of like my introverted self coming out, and I remember so much time, even now, people being like, Sarah, you're so quiet. Sarah, are you okay? And it's like, yeah, I'm just listening. I just enjoy listening. But for me, when I'm in a one-on-one conversation, that's kind of when I can struggle, and that's when I want to get the last word in, and that's when I want to say more and give more of my input, and I'm learning to be quiet and let the other person talk. Start talking when it makes the most sense and when it's really respectful for that other person. Number 9, be productive by making lists. When I go out to do errands, whatever, I have a list of places I'm gonna go, people I'm gonna see, what I'm gonna do at those certain places, what I'm gonna pick up. Make lists. It just encourages so much productivity. There's so much going on in our brain, and to be able to put it down onto paper and have a visual is very beneficial and helpful, especially especially if you're very busy, you have a lot of jobs, you have a lot of areas in your life that you need a lot of attention. Making lists is so practical and beneficial. And kind of going on with that last one, number 10, start planning. Buy yourself a planner and plan. Now, some people love plan. If you're like me, like this video, I love planning. Planning for me is awesome. I'm able to open up my planner and see through the entire year what I'm doing, what I'm up to. I write down anniversaries, birthdays, special dates, places to go, people to meet, work that needs to be done, work that should not be done, wife stuff, mom stuff, appointments. Everything is written down in my planner. So like on a Friday or Saturday, I sit down and I look towards the next week and I write everything, including food to buy and dinner plans and things that I can, again, take from my brain, put out onto paper, and have a visual. We are very visual people. A lot of us are. We live visually, and when things are just kind of in our head, they get jumbled around and mixed up, and unless you're like my grandma who has a photographic memory, you're probably like me who's like just I use the Rifle Paper & Co. planner. I've used it for 3-4 years now, and I can link it down below. It's my favorite. Number 11 is to get consistent with a routine. I am a routine I have a morning, afternoon, and evening routine, and I need to make more routine videos because a lot of people are like, where do I start? How do I begin a routine? What does a routine look like? Like a 5 a.m. morning routine, a work routine throughout my day, an evening routine with my husband and my kids. Some people, their whole day is a routine. Some people it's just the morning. Some people they have like a small slot of time in their day where there is a routine. Find a routine, stick with it, be consistent with it. This is something that again is very productive. This is something that you can look towards and know, this is my routine, this is what goes down. We have a lot of security in knowing what is to come, which is why routines are so awesome. They form into a habit very quickly and they actually keep us accountable without anyone else having to, just our routine in itself. Number 12, give more. 2020 is the year where you are to be a servant to people. Give more can be income. Giving more could be giving people food. Giving more could be taking in kids so mom can have a break for a bit. And at the same time, you can give more just in your house and in your own space as well. We are such selfish creatures and so much of the time it's like me, me, me. And we should be focusing on other people and everything else. Think about yourself second. Think about others first, the amount of impact and also just the full-on satisfaction that you will get is way more and way more precious and way more deep than when you serve yourself versus when you serve other people. Number 13 is to read every single day. I always have 1 or 2, sometimes 3 books going at a single time. And I actually mean read. I mean opening a book, not Audible or like even your Kindle. Like actually have an actual book that you can open and flip the pages on. The act of holding a book and flipping pages and reading and going through and seeing how much you have left and how much you've gone through is extremely good for you. It's good for your brain. It's very therapeutic. Reading is also something that is very relaxing. So when I say I go to bed at like 8:30, I'm in bed by 8:30 and I'm reading for another half an hour, sometimes to like 2 hours. I love reading. Reading is a great way that you can wind down, process thoughts, and then also I feel like as adults, we lose our imagination, and imaginations are beautiful, awesome things to have, and reading can just really reignite it. And trust me, even as an adult, an imagination is so fabulous and important to have, even as an adult. Number 14, find a hobby, find a niche. What do you like? What are you good at? What would you like to put more time into? What would you like to excel at? When you were like 8, 9, or 10 years old, what did you like? What were you into? What is something that you've kind of given up because of other things? Maybe you should get back into it. Maybe you should try it again. There's so many people where I talk to them and I'm like, what do you like doing? What do you do? And they're like, nothing. And it's like, really? You don't have anything that you pour your heart and soul into? Something that you really like to do? Reading is a hobby. Artistry is a hobby. Working out is a hobby. Actually talking can be a hobby. There's so much creativity like running through people's veins these days, and they don't realize that it's there, and they don't know what to do with it once they find that it's there, nor do they make time to just use it and enjoy it. What do you like? What do you enjoy? What would you like to be able to do? Do it. Do it. I'm your mom. I'm telling you, do it. Number 15, set your focus on what is good. I'm over it, guys. I'm over this really sad, depressed, negative, not positive kind of realm. I feel like there's a lot of it going on YouTube. It's these sad people, it's these depressed people, and I know that these things are actual issues and these are things that people go through, but I feel like the last thing a really depressed, negative type of thinking person needs is more of it, or assurance that it's normal. I don't need, when I'm feeling sad or like not too cool, I don't need assurance that it's cool and that's okay that I feel like that. I need the opposite of that. I need positivity. I need goodness. I honestly, as a Christian woman, I need the Lord, because He is what is defined as good. People that are stuck in depression and sadness need to stop running towards that and be almost consumed by that, but in that world, taken out of it and introduced to what is good and what is awesome. I realize not everyone is a Christian. A lot of people watching this video, you probably not Christians, but know that even still, the Lord has given us so many good things in His world that we can love and appreciate all the same. And to go out and find those things, set your focus on what is good and let that deepness and darkness just have it let go of you. That is freedom. That is freedom. When you go to the doctor and you're not feeling well, the doctor doesn't stick you with a bunch of other people that aren't feeling well. He brings you towards a space and a place where you will feel so much better. That's what we need to do in order to combat evil and horrible feelings and just sunken sulkenness. And everyone just going through sadness and depression and hardships, I love you. God loves you. You got this. Number 16 is to fix long and short-term goals. I can't get over the amount of people that don't have a bucket list, that don't have a list of like things that they want to do or get to or places that they want to check. Like, people don't have this. Start yourself a bucket list. Find out some long-term, some short-term goals that you can work through and check. There is nothing like writing something down later, finishing it, and checking that off your list. That is satisfaction. What a awesome, good feeling. And to also make sure you don't fill your list with all these super intense long goals that will take you like 20 years to get through, but also some short-term goals that may even just take a month. Dang, does it ever feel good to cross that off? It feels so fantastic. Number 17, figure out what is wrong with you physically. I think everyone has something that's just, it feels wrong with their body. This isn't how it's supposed to be. This doesn't feel right. Figure out what's wrong and stop putting it on the back burner. For me in 2019, I just felt like my pelvis, after 3 kids, my pelvis didn't feel good. My body was just falling apart, my back mostly. Also, I was really struggling with acne and it was really painful. 2019 was the year where I tried a lot of different like elimination diets. I went to my chiropractor more often. I started doing massage. I was taking care of myself. I was like, I don't want to live with this anymore. I don't want to just go throughout my life like this. I want to figure out what is wrong with me and I want to take care of myself here. I feel way better than I have in like my whole life. You know what? Oh, actually, when I was 9, I felt like flipping fire when I was 9. I was flexible. I could like pull myself up on things. I could leap like I was an amazing 9-year-old. Let's just say that. I'm not as amazing as I was back then, but still feeling pretty flippin' fantastic. And you should have seen it, guys. My skin was so clear. I finally figured out what's going on with my skin. I look forward to doing a video on that soon-ish, because now that I'm sick, I broke out again, because I always break out when I'm sick. I get on my chest, on my back. Ugh. Find out what's physically wrong with you and take time to take care of yourself. And that brings us into our next one, which is self-care. God gave us bodies to take care of them. Too many people, even with them being super selfish, they forget about their physical selves and even just their mental selves and what they need. I'm huge into self-care. I take care of my family way more when I also take care of myself as well. Self-care looks very different for a lot of people. Sometimes self-care is just getting out of the house and being in silence for a bit. Sometimes self-care is actually surrounding yourself with other people. For some people, self-care is food. For some people, self-care is like the actual physical care, like getting their nails done or like getting their legs waxed. Sometimes self-care is just a cup of coffee to get you through your day. Take care of the body that God has given you and address the needs that you have and fulfill them for your benefit and even for His glory. We're almost done. Invest in relationships. Some people have so many friends and they almost feel overwhelmed investing in all those relationships. And I encourage you to find the relationships that are very important, that are very awesome, that are very beautiful, and invest in those and take time for those. And then also look at some relationships that maybe you're looking at and you're going, you know what? I don't like actually being with this person, and I feel small around this person, and I feel like this person is either toxic or too controlling, or they just make me feel like dirt. Maybe letting go of some relationships as well for your benefit. I'm literally just talking about like friendships. This isn't me talking about marriage, because marriage is a vowed covenant relationship. That isn't something that I'm encouraging you to walk from, but I feel like we just have some friendships that don't do us so good that we need to let go of, and then we have some friendships that do us so good but sometimes we forget about them, and I encourage you to invest in those and take time for those, and honestly to find so much happiness and joy in those, because you know there's a lot of people that don't have a lot of friends and don't have a lot of close friends, and it is heartbreaking and absolutely sad, and I'm losing my voice. I am losing my voice. Love on your really awesome friends. Just love on them. Lastly is the acceptance of things that are not easily changed, and to not dwell on them. There are so many things in our lives that will bug us, and there's sometimes even just one thing that it's here all the time throughout the day. That one thing is gonna be so much more intense and annoying and burdensome when you look at it without acceptance. When you look at something and you can be like, you know what? I've accepted this, I've accepted that it's here. It is no longer like this and in your face and just such a worrisome type of issue. It's something that's kind of like pushed back and it's still there, but the acceptance of it has made it so much easier to kind of allow into your life, and to also not dwell on such things. We dwell on the negative too often. Again, just that negative, sadness, depressed, lonesome, kind of sulken feeling. We can really sit on it and we can stay there for long periods of time, when we need to push ourselves off of that chair and we need to be elsewhere, and to let those negative, depressed, selfish, whatever things know, I don't want to hang out with you. I'm not cool being there. I want to move on from this and taking charge and control over that. Things in your life are going to be hard, and that's normal human life stuff there. Accepting it and moving on and not dwelling on those things completely changes your outlook on everything, and really beautifies even the hard stuff that's going on in your life. And through all those things, in prayer, let your requests be made known to God, and talk to God and share just with Him your heart and how you're feeling. That's another way of just you showing your acceptance, and then just laying everything on the Lord and giving it to Him. Thank you guys very much for being here and for watching today's video. I hope just this video was cool and interesting to listen to. I know this may resonate with a lot of people and maybe not so much other people, but all the same, thank you for being here. I wish you an awesome 2020. Thank you for watching, for sticking around for my videos. I have some sweet stuff coming up in 2020, and I'm very excited to have you guys along with me for this awesome journey. So cheers. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.